Hi, everybody. It's Dré, your personal power coach and the founder of the Power Players Club, the premier coaching and empowerment club for forward thinking urban adults like us. And today's question comes from Truth Seeker, who says, how do you walk away from drama? When you don't hear what you need to hear from the person you love, or they're always pulling you into conflict, when do you see that this person is not for you? Well, Truth Seeker. Drama? Mm, okay? So, I want to tell you something. All right, if you're still in a situation or you're still in a relationship where the main ingredient in the relationship is drama and conflict, you really got to ask yourself if that's a place that you really want to be. But sometimes that's a question that's easier asked than answered. And what do I mean by that? Because that's not the question, right? Nobody wants to be in a relationship that has drama and conflict on purpose. Nobody's consciously choosing to be in a relationship that creates drama and conflict. Okay? That's not what we do consciously. But somehow we seem to end up, or people seem to end up in relationships that are defined by drama and conflict. And why is that? One, because first of all, it takes two to tango. It always takes two. And we can never blame it on the other person or say, well, this person, brings me into drama. This person pulls me into conflict. The person can't pull you into anything that you don't allow them to pull you into. So if they want to fight all the time, they want to argue all the time, they want to pick, beef or pull you into things that are not what you are interested in being pulled into, then you always have a choice and you always have a right to decline. And if you don't, and you find yourself being pulled into those things, then that's on you. So you have to figure that out for yourself. You have to be clear enough about who you are and what you stand for that you don't allow someone to be able to actively pull you into a place that you don't want to be. That's number one. And number two, you have to ask yourself the very serious question about love. Because you're saying when you don't hear what you need to hear from the person you love, or this person you love is always pulling you into conflict, when do you see that the person is not for you? Well, you have to ask yourself, well, what is your definition of love? Okay? Remember, perception is key. That's one of the first power principles. Perception is key. So it's all about the way you see things, and it's about the way that you see, in this case, love and your ability to give love and receive love from other people. Okay? So you have to ask yourself, what is your definition of love? Does a person love you if they're constantly pulling you into drama, constantly pulling you into places that are not in your best interest? Does that mean that the person loves you? Or does that mean that the person is just attached to you and you're attached to that person because both of you need something that the other one has in order for you to feel whole? You don't feel whole by um, adding or subtracting to or from another person. You don't. You have to feel whole in yourself. You have to love yourself first. That's the first thing, right? But then you have to ask yourself if this person is willingly, and sometimes it's not willingly, sometimes people have their own issues that they have to deal with, and that's none of your business because it's still up to you whether or not you stay or go, right? But if the person is pulling you into all these things, you have to take a step back and say, wow, is this really love? Love is something that's supposed to be nurturing and growing and expanding you and moving you to higher heights in your life and not detracting from you. Okay? If you're experiencing those things, then you could call that love. Because love exists in that space, but love doesn't exist in the space of drama and conflict. That's just like two totally different worlds, right? Those things don't exist in the same space. So you have to ask yourself that question, right? And then you have to ask yourself, well, what do I believe about myself as it relates to love? Okay? A lot of us have had a lot of bad experiences with relationships and what we like to call love. We don't even know what we're looking for anymore, right? And sometimes the problem is that we don't feel like we're enough, or we don't feel like we're worthy enough to enjoy a relationship that will expand us and grow us and be mutually respectful in all those cases, right? So it makes it very difficult to walk away from something that's not that, because we kind of feel like, well, this is better than nothing. Who says, right? This, if it's not expanding you, is not better than nothing. Okay? And by the way, you're never in a relationship with nothing. You're always in some relationship. And the most important relationship you're in is the one with yourself. So if a relationship that you're cultivating with a person is not expanding yourself and the love that you have for yourself, then you have to take the love you have for yourself, or build the love that you have for yourself, and say, you know what, this is not for me, and I'm out. Okay? So when do you see that the person's not for you? You see that the person is not for you when it hurts more to stay in a position where it's detrimental to you than it does for you to get out and fly and be the person that it is that you know in your heart that you want to be. So that's really the advice that I would give to you today, truth seeker. How do you know? When you're more willing to walk away from the drama than you are to walk away from yourself and the love that you need to feel in order for you to continue to live your life in a positive and fulfilled way. So, thank you for listening. And if you have questions or anything that you'd like to ask about anything, health, money, sex, love, relationships, children, family, anything like that, and you just want a perspective on the things that you're dealing with, feel free to send me an email at thepowerplayersclub@gmail.com, and your question might be featured on Ask Dré too. Have a great day. Bye.